Okay, so this is the app. When you download it and install it on your computer, it's going to look like this. It's called manager.io, and it's a usual standard installation. So due to, I only have 40 minutes to go through this. So I'll go through everything. I'll put everything online on my blog site and also on my YouTube channel so that you can go through whatever I'm going to go through later on. So once you've downloaded and installed the program on your computer, laptop, or whatever, you simply need to add a business. I've already got some other businesses added, so I won't show that. But once you've clicked on the add business, it then brings you here. So you need to create a new business. Once you click on create a new business, you can give it a business name. So I'll just say Mulos, okay? You need to pick the country. So you've got a number of options. You can pick as many countries as you want and also the languages. So in our case, it's Zambia. Then once you've done that, you can click on create new business. It takes a couple of seconds, and this is how the new business is going to look. It's going to give you basically an overview of the business, which is here. You can scroll up, down, you'll be able to see the fixed or set expense accounts, asset account, income account, and all. So manager.io allows you to customize to suit your business. So the first thing we're going to do is set up. Now, one of the first things you need to set up is what type of business do you do? Are you going to be using taxes, or are you going to be using any other type of general expense? So it's got a really simple layout. Summary is this is what it's going to be. Journal entries, if you're going to be doing double entry bookkeeping. Reports, if you need to generate reports like profit and loss account, income statements, and all of those other things. Then here under settings, you're going to see all these things. So you've got base currency, business details. You can come to your business details. You can put in here your address. You can even put in your email address. So this is what's going to appear on your invoices and other things. So you can then update that. You also have here business logo. In case you've got a business logo, you can import it into this so that it will appear on your invoices, receipts, and all. Here under chart of accounts, you'd be able to create accounts as and when you see fit. So one of the most important accounts you need to create is a tax account. So this one you need to create it when you start. You can even just call it whatever you want. You can just call it taxes. You need to create it as a liability account. Whether or not you'll be receiving tax refunds or making tax payments, it's usually better to create it as a liability account. Okay, then the next thing under settings, you also have custom fields, date and number. This is another very important field to put. So under date, you need to set it to the standard dates that we use, which is day, month, year. So you're going to go for 31/12/2022, so that it's fixed as day, month, year, and not month, day, year, like the Americans. So you can update that. Then you also have, you can set your email settings. Foreign currency, you can also set. You can add and remove currencies. So here I'm going to add USD. We'll call it USD. We'll just give it the dollar symbol or USD, and we can create that. So we've created a currency there. So those are the main things you'd want to set up. Then the other one you'd want to set up when you start are the tax codes. So if you come here under tax codes, I hope everyone can see this. I hope I didn't mute. If anyone is not able to see, please do let me know. So here under tax codes, it's very, very important you put these, especially if you are VAT registered or you make regular withholding tax payments. So here I've created a tax code. It's going to be VAT. You need to set the rate. It's a custom field. VAT in Zambia is at 16%. So it's going to ask which account are the taxes going to be received in. And if you click the drop down arrow, you'll see that that account we had created earlier, the tax account, is here. So that all your taxes should go into that. For those of you joining just now, I'm going to share the link to this video on my YouTube channel as well as my blog site, so you'll be able to catch up on everything that I've said. So here you've got the option of putting in whether it's reverse charged or custom sales invoice title, custom credit note. You don't really need to put this. You just need to set the rate and all. create that. Then also, in case you do withholding taxes, you can also just put withholding tax, WHT. You can put the custom rate, which is 15% for consultancy fees, for instance, and you can create. So we go back to settings. So we've done most of the major things that are there. Now, the next one is setting up your bank account and the likes, okay? So if you're using mobile money, bank accounts, or any other type of cash accounts, you can come back here. Okay, so I made a small mistake. If you're adding, if you're going to add bank accounts, cash accounts, and all, you need to first come under customize. And here under customize, you're going to pick which services in manager.io you're going to use. If you're going to use a bank and cash account, you can do that. If you're going to receive receipts and payments, you can click that and that. If you're going to do inter-account transfers, let's say you've got a Stanbic account, you've got a Zanaco account, an ABSA account, and you want to be moving between one to the other, you've got Airtel money, MTN money, you're going to be moving within one to the other, you can click on that. If you're going to be doing bank reconciliations on a regular basis, you can click on that. You can select expense claims. If you've got customers that you're going to be invoicing, you can click on that. If you're going to do sales quotes, sales orders, sales invoices, I'll just click on sales invoices. If you're going to do delivery notes, if you've got suppliers and you receive purchase invoices or purchase orders, purchase quotes, you can click whichever is applicable. If you're doing projects, if you've got inventory, which you're going to be using in your business. If you've got employees, you need to do pay slips, you can click on these. If you've got investments, fixed assets, whether they depreciate, intangible assets, capital assets, special accounts. So I've picked the most common ones that people will use. So from there, we're just going to update. Then once you have updated, you'll see here that your menu options have now changed. You've got a lot of things. You've got bank and cash accounts, you've got receipts, payments, inter-account transfers, bank reconciliations, sales invoices, suppliers, purchase invoices. So you can always be setting and changing things. So the main settings would be here under settings, where you can do most of these. Then the other ones which relate to customizing your actual accounts would be here under this. So you can always make the changes as and when you see fit. All right, so now that we have set up all those things, the most common thing you're going to have to do is invoice a customer. So that one is very, very simple. Let me just come out of this. So if you need to invoice someone, like let's say there's I Enterprises here in Java Enterprises, in case I need to invoice you. So I can just come here. First of all, I need to create you as a customer. So I'll just click on customer. I'm going to click on this add customer. I'm going to put your name here. So I've put your name there. I can put the currency, whether it's kwacha or dollar. By default, it's in kwacha. You can also add dollar. I can add your address and all those things. I can just say Lusaka. I can put your address. I can put your email address and all. And then I will create you. Then there's also Joy there. So I'm going to add another customer. So here I've added, you see here on customers, there's one. I'm going to add another customer here. So I was going to say JK, but people might mistake and for the musician. So I'm going to add Joy K here, and also going to be on kwacha, or you can add as dollar. In case your customer, you do invoice them kwacha and dollar, you need to create one customer under the same name for kwacha, then recreate the customer again for dollar. So the customer will appear under two. So I've created Joy K there, and I've created. Now to invoice you. So I'm going to come here under sales invoices. I'm going to create a new sales invoice. Today's date. You can set when this is due. For IJ, I'll just say 30 days. You need to put in the invoice number. This will be invoice number 1. I'll select the customer. So we're starting with this one. Then you can put here the description. Usually I just leave this one out. Here under account, we're going with sales. You can create which account you want it to go to. You can create multiple sales accounts in case it's sales of stationery, building equipment, or any of those things. You can put the quantity if you want, or you can just put the unit price. Let's say I'm invoicing you 50,000 kwacha. Now, let's say I need to add VAT to this. I can add, so the VAT is going to come to 8,000 kwacha. Then here you also have an option. Sometimes, let me just, where is that one here? Sometimes VAT is, you want it included in the price. You don't want it showing separate. So this one is where VAT is added on to your amount. So 50,000 kwacha plus VAT will come to 58,000. If I click on create, you see here that the invoice is going to come out like this. The sales amount is 50,000. The VAT is added on there. You can edit this to, in case you've said, oh, I need more details, you can actually just come down here, or is it up here, click on edit. And this one is key. In case you want to add more details, I recommend you click on the line description. It adds on a description here. And here I'm just going to put okay, so I'll put supply of materials, okay? Then if I update this invoice, you'll see here that the invoice has changed a little bit. It's now going to show still the same invoice. It's a supply of materials for 50,000 kwacha, and the VAT is added on here. Now, in case you want another invoice where the taxes are actually not showing, but inclusive, you can come back here to sales invoices, create a new sales invoice. We'll do again, this one will also be, let's say, 7 days, payable in 7 days, invoice 2. Because this is free, because this is a free service and all, it doesn't automatically update invoices. So that's the price of free, basically. Hi, Madge. Links to this will be shared later on. So I think whatever you have missed, you'll be able to catch up on it and view the video later on. Oh, she's gone out. All right, so you need to manually put in the invoice thing there. So the customer, again, I Enterprises. Here, it's going to sales account as well. Here you can put quantity. It's 50 meters of material at, let's say, 750 kwacha each. You can add VAT. Now, the option here, you can put it as, where is this, tax inclusive? Amounts are tax inclusive. So if I click on that, you see that it disappears. And if we come here to create invoice, you see here that it has created the sales invoice, 75 kwacha, 50 meters at 750 kwacha, and it shows the total amount, and it says includes VAT. So you can have an invoice which shows VAT and then totals up, or you can have an invoice that shows the total amount and then adds the VAT down below. Now, what about an invoice where you have to add things like withholding tax? So that one you can actually come, I'm going to create the last invoice now. So this one, I'm going to invoice it to Joy. Let's say 1 day to pay. So Joy K. So again, you can choose which account you want to the invoice to be linked to, so that when the customer pays, the money is added on to that account as well. So let's say here it's a consultancy, and it's for 5,000 kwacha. And this one is going to have withholding tax at 15%. So it's added on the withholding tax of 750 kwacha. So here you can make it tax inclusive or not. Then here I'm going to create the invoice, and you see here that 750 kwacha has been added. And if you want, you can go back and add the description. Now, although this is a free program, it's got some really, really cool features. If you want to reconcile your tax account later on, you can come under reports. You can do all sorts of reports. There's profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow. There's also tax audit, tax summary, tax recon, tax transactions, and all these. And there are many more. Once you have set up and installed, you'll be able to go through all these. Now let's have a look at the tax transactions. You need to create a new report. So once you've created that new report, you can pick the date. In case you are working backwards, we can start from 1st January to today, and we can create. So here it's going to show all your sales. It shows the invoice numbers and invoice dates. And you see here that this is VAT, this is withholding tax. So you're going to see that the tax on sales, there's an 8,000 here, 5,172.41. This is your total VAT, which will be due in your June report, June VAT returns, which are due next month. In case it's withholding tax, it's going to show here. In case you're like, oh, I made a mistake, you can actually select the invoice in question. You can just click on it, or click on it, or click on it. In case you say, this one is not supposed to have VAT because it's 0 rated, you can actually just come back to it and edit. You can either edit to remove the VAT, you can close that, or in case it was supposed to be withholding tax, you can change between the taxes. I hope that will be clear. Then in case you're like, oh, my bad, I was not supposed to make any changes, what you can do is you can just simply go back. You can click on that, so no changes have been done. Now there's also one very other simple thing of what if you are invoicing someone and charging both VAT and withholding tax. So that one, you need to come here under settings. You go under taxes. Sorry, let me just come. You go under tax codes, new tax code. So this one is, you can say withholding tax and VAT. And here you can say custom. All right. And when you select on custom, it's now going to give you here whether it's a single rate or multiple rates. So you click on multiple rates, and then here you're going to say VAT at 16%. It's going to the taxes account. And then here you can also add another line. And here you're going to say withholding tax at 16%. And it's also going to the taxes type. So you've now created a new tax type, which is a combined. It's got withholding tax and VAT, because sometimes you might have multiple taxes. You want to add your turnover. You can also do turnover tax here or any other tax type. All right, so doing a sales invoice for that one, we'll invoice it to Joy K. We'll put it again at 7 days. This is invoice number 3. It's going to sales. Okay, then here it's 7,000. When we're picking the tax types, we're just going to pick the combined withholding tax and VAT. So it's added the 2 different taxes. And we can add the line description. You can say billboards or whatever it will be. And once that is done, we can create. So here you see that there's the invoice has been created, the VAT has been added, the withholding tax has been added. So it's going to go to the correct tax accounts, and you can be able to reconcile in the reports feature here. All right. So now what happens when you've got suppliers who invoice you? So you're going to come here under suppliers. So your customer can also be your supplier. There are times that you buy from someone and also sell to them. So you need to create them as a customer. You need to create them also as a supplier. So let's say here you get your shopping from Mulo Stationery. Okay, so you get your supplies from Mulo Stationery. It's a Kwacha account. You can create that. Let's say you also get from game stores. You can create them as suppliers, and you can create them. So what happens is that as you get those paper receipts, you need to capture that information into this. And you're going to do that by coming here to purchase invoices. So you come here under purchase invoices, and you're going to click on that. So purchase invoices, you've purchased today, whether it's due in 30 days, 7 days, or what, you get the invoice number from the one you've been given by the supplier. Let's say it's 355 or 3555. You pick the supplier. So each time you're adding a new supplier, you need to add them first here to suppliers so that they appear on this drop-down list. So here, Mr. Mulos, So this one here is going to printing and stationery. Then here, you can put the line description. You can put here toner. Maybe it was one toner at 1,850. Then you can add whether there was VAT or not. You can add that. In case you're buying multiple items, you can just keep on adding a line. So here again, it's going to printing and stationery. This is paper. You can say you bought 5 rims at 195 kwacha. So here, if you don't pick a tax type from here, it means that there was no tax added onto that. So if you want, you can actually leave out these, and you can just say amounts are tax inclusive, so that it automatically will just give you, and you are going to go with what the invoice you've been given has been. Then here you can just create. So this is a purchase invoice, and it's going to show as what you owe to the supplier. Then also here, in case you also make payments like to Zesco, you can actually just add Zesco as a supplier. So at each time you're buying Zesco, MTN, Zamtel, or any of these other networks, you'll always be finding them there as your suppliers. So you can create. Then here with Zesco, there's going to be all manner of taxes. There's excise duty. You can just put in the total sum for the Zesco receipt, or if you are VAT registered, you need to take note of the actual VAT so that you can recover that. We can add one more purchase invoice. Then we're going to make the payments for this. Okay, let's see the suppliers. Okay, there's game stores. You've bought computer equipment, let's say from game stores, and there's been a computer, printer, and all these other things. You can just put that there. Okay, you've put all those things there. You can put the total amount. It was 65,000 kwacha. Whether there are taxes or not, you can leave that out or put it there, and you can create. So what happens now is you need to pay these suppliers, or you had actually already made the payment. So if you come here to bank and cash accounts, you see that there have been no bank accounts added. So you can add a bank account here. Let's say Stanbic. You can say what the starting balance was. There was a 265,000 kwacha in my Stanbic account at the start of it. Whether it's a kwacha or dollar account, you can create. If you also have a dollar account, you can create, let's say Stanbic. You can create a dollar account. There was $65 in the account. You can create. And then let's say you've got a petty cash account as well. Customers are coming in and giving you cash. You can create a new cash account. And this is cash receipts and payments. You can call it whatever you want to call it. So let's say at the start of it, you had 95,000 kwacha cash, which is in the safe there. So in case you're creating multiple accounts, you can click on create and add another, or just one off. So here we've got these accounts now. So there's 95,000 kwacha in my cash account. There's 265,000 kwacha in my Stanbic. Now you need to make a payment to your suppliers for these invoices you've got. So you can just click on here, payments. You click on new payment. You're going to choose which account was the payment coming from. Whether it's a cash account, Stanbic or Stanbic. I went into game stores with cash, or I used my card. So when creating the bank accounts, in case there are multiple currencies, you could create it as Stanbic kwacha, Stanbic dollar. So how you know which account it is? The first one I created was the kwacha, so it's one on top. The second one was the dollar, so it's the one at the bottom. So I swiped my card at Stanbic. It was cleared on the same day. The payee, it was the supplier I was paying. Then I can do the drop down arrow, and I can choose which supplier I was paying, which is game stores. So the account is coming from, this is the accounts payable. Accounts receivable, okay, we've got 10 minutes, so I'll be winding up. So suppliers are under the accounts payable. So once you click on that, it automatically adjusts here. Then you can choose which invoice you are paying. And it's this one which I generated today. then here you can pick the amount that you are going to pay. Let me just put, all right, sorry. Okay, so I made a small mistake. I didn't realize how, I didn't know how much the invoice was supposed to be. So obviously you'd be having a look at the invoice, but rather than going back and coming back, I'll just put here that you paid 50,000 to game stores, and you can create that. So was it 5,000? Sorry. So here you're going to have this payment to game stores. So what you can do, you can go under your suppliers, and then you see here that game stores, you're still owing a 60,000. So it wasn't 5,000 you paid, it was 65,000, I'm assuming. So what you can do, you can go back to the payments, you can edit it here, put in the correct amount, which is supposed to be 65,000, and you can update. So I paid 65,000 from the cash account. If I go to my suppliers, you see game stores, I've actually paid out the full amount, which I used on card. If you come to your bank account and all, you see here that your Stanbic balance has actually come down. So what you can do, you can actually click on the cleared balance here, and it's going to show you your bank transactions. So it's going to show you how much you've spent, how much is there. If there be no transactions, though, nothing will show there. So you can make as many payments as you want. Another way of paying invoices or purchase invoices is you can just click on, here on purchase invoices. You can click on it, and you're going to see here that I'm still owing Mr. Mulos. You can just click on view, or you can click on this highlighted blue here. Click on view there, and then you'll be like, oh, wait a second, I paid this invoice. So you can just come here to new payments. It's going to automatically put the details of what you're paying for, including the amount. So you can choose which account it's coming from, the cash account. You can put a description. I prefer this column description here. It was, I paid him by Momo. Then you can create, and it gives you this. So if you come back here to bank and cash accounts, and you go here to your petty cash account, you'll see that this account has been here. So this is you paying your suppliers. Now, what happens when your customers pay you? So let's say Joy is paying me. So you can just click on either view here, or sorry, not the view. You can click on the amount that she's owing, and it's going to show you the two invoices. So you can click on view. If she was making a partial payment, you can click on this. So it's going to be a receipt. You can say which account these funds were received in, whether it was the cash account, Stanbic account, or, and here by default, it's going to put the full amount. But let's say she only paid 5,000 with a 750 kwacha difference. You can put a line description there, and you can then go and create. If you're going to create and make another one, you can do that. Okay, so by default, it's going to leave you to pay this one. So this one, she sent it to the bank account. So it's going to go to Stanbic. Then you can just create. All right, so now once you've done all this transacting, if you go under summary, so here under summary, it's going to have auto-populated all this information. So you're going to have here under your accounts receivable, this is what is due to you from your customers. Cash at bank, it has adjusted for what you have paid and what you have received. Cash on hand, what you have paid and what you have received has been adjusted. Then here, the total sales you have made is going to show. You've sold 87,327.50. Then if you come here under expenses, you see here what you expense to computer equipment is there, printing and stationery is there. So your total expenses have been this. This is your net profit from what you have all done. Then here it also adjusts your retained earnings, your suspense account. If you click on suspense account, usually it means that this one, when we were invoicing, we made one small mistake. So if I click here on edit, you see here that I did not put it to sales. So it was put under suspense. So that's how you can actually capture information that you may have missed. So if I now update this and I come back to my summary, So you see here that there have been some small adjustments here and there. My net profit has gone up a little bit. And you see that there's no suspense account here because it has been correctly apportioned to sales and not to suspense account. Then here, you at the click of a button, you are able to see how much tax payable you are owing and how much taxes in total. So here, if you click on this, you're going to see here your tax reports and all. It's assuming that when you get paid by the client, you're also going to make the payment to ZRA and all. So back to this. So the tax payable 750 kwacha, you can just click on this view. So this one, it's saying tax payable because this one has been paid in full and the money is sitting with you. All right, so I guess this is, we'll be winding up now. We've got just about 3 minutes. So everything that I've covered in this video is going to show in, I'm going to upload it on YouTube. I'm also going to share the link on my blog site and you'll be able to view it there so that you can go through what has been covered and catch up on all of this. Otherwise, thank you for taking part. I don't gain anything in this. I just wanted to share this information because I do books for some clients, and then I realized that a lot of clients, especially with VAT, they are using Excel or they're using manual processes, and then they end up having trouble reconciling. So the best you can do, because accounting packages do cost quite a bit, you can start with a free package, learn your way in using accounting packages, and then advance your way. As your business improves, you can then start purchasing and using accounting packages, or you can continue using this free one. Now, with manager.io, there's a free version which you have to download on your computer or PC or laptop. Then there's a paid version which uses the cloud version. So I recommend you just use the free version, save it on your computer. There's always going to be something you're going to be doing. Here, there's this backup. Make sure that you, because it's a free version and it's not saved on the cloud, always back it up. You can just click on backup. If you click here on backup, it's going to tell you where it's going to be saved on. You can save it in your documents. You save that backup. So it means that as and when you are doing your daily transactions and all, back up your information, save it on the cloud, a flash disk on your email or something, and then you'll always be able to recover your data in case of anything. In case you've got issues with ZRA, you'll be able to retrieve all your sales invoices for the entire period, whether it's 1 year, 10 years, 15 years, you'll be able to retrieve all that information. If you want to know how much sales you've had with one client for a year, you'll be able to find that. How much purchases you've had from one supplier in a year, you'll be able to find all of that. So this is a free package. I highly recommend it. I gain nothing from this. I was just hoping to share some information with other entrepreneurs so that they don't have issues with ZRA. They don't have issues reconciling their books and accounts. It's even easier for them to generate their financial statements as and when they need. So I think we've just got like a few seconds left before it times out. Thank you very much for taking part. Let me know in the comment section whatever I may have missed and then I'll try to make a follow-up session just to cover these things. But in the meantime, do try to use this program, and I hope to hear from you what your views on it are, any challenges you have, so that I can try to make some more specific content in future. But otherwise, thank you for taking part. Forgive my voice. I was down with man flu, but I thought I still needed to. The show must go on, as they say.